Dear kitmen, we see you, we appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the kit man. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit. Make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kit man. In the meantime, it's on the kit man to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Welcome to the Sports Bar and talkSPORT. I'm Jamie Haaaaas. Jason Cundy's not here. I'm alongside the legend that is Dean Saunders. We will be phoning Mr. Cundy to see where he is, because there was an absolute ball fest at the Emirates tonight. Arsenal get it done. They are through to the Carabao Cup final. Unconvincing, but they're through. Job done. Chelsea, shambles from you lot. Any danger? Trying to score a goal would have been there for a week. You wouldn't have found the back of the net. Come on, you've got to do more than that in a semi-final. Do we even need two-legged semi-finals anymore? Boring hell. Right, elsewhere, we're going to take a look at Pep Guardiola's comments today. He says there a world where this could actually be his final season in the Premier League. City fans, we'll talk about that, plus your game, obviously, tomorrow night in the semi-final against Newcastle. We've got the managers coming up as well from tonight's game. Get involved in the show. Arsenal are in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea are useless. 03 717 22 33 44. What I Dino?
Good, yeah. I think that's very harsh.
What do you mean?
Chelsea useless.
Oh, come on, mate. They were garbage. They were
I
garbage.
don't think they were garbage.
Oh, mate, come on.
Jimmy, Arsenal have had 20 clean sheets, and tonight they were just strong. They defended
Man
well.
United scored 3 goals against them last week.
Yeah, that happens now and again.
They're in Carabao Cup semi-final, and they didn't look like they could hit barn door.
Well, I thought the manager I thought he's going to get this right, because if they open up, they might go another goal down, and that's them out of the tie. So they just like kept it tight. Chelsea didn't really throw that many bodies forward. And I thought, quarter of an hour to go, he might try and nick a goal and get it into extra time and try and beat Arsenal that way. But when they tried to score, they just couldn't. Just didn't do enough in front of goal.
I know, but you're talking about players here and a lot of money who are good players and make something happen. I know, look, credit to Arsenal. Defensively, they're fantastic. You can't get away from it. They're so hard to break down. But take some risks. Do something out of the ordinary. Make something happen. There's 5-6 minutes left. I'm looking at it going, Caicedo keeps kicking it into straight into the body of the Arsenal player when he's trying to hit a cross. No one's having a real invention to try and make something happen, take a risk. In the end, Arsenal go and win the game as the last kick. Fair play to them, but I was disappointed in Chelsea. I was expecting more of a game.
Well, you're right what you said there about the last 10 minutes of the game when they were overplaying. Put the ball in the box, get 6 bodies in the box, surround the edge of the box with the rest of your team, and keep recycling it until somebody gets on the end of a cross. You couldn't get through the middle of Arsenal, but they refused to cross it at times. And I don't know. Delap's not a right winger for me. I think you've got to play him down the middle. Delap, he's a handful when he's up against defenders. Pedro played well, got hold of the ball well today.
Yeah. We've done all right.
They done okay, but he's gone there. 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, 1 up front. Try and stay in the tie as long as possible. And then quarter of an hour to go, I thought Liam Rosenior was going down that route of quarter of an hour to go, we'll throw everything at him. But Arsenal defended well. Hard to score past them.
Yeah. Man United didn't struggle.
And he's bringing Trossard on, Havertz on. They're better than the ones he's taking off. Jesus. The squad's that good. There's no weak links. They don't bring anybody on that's going to cost you the game. They're all good players. But well done to Arsenal. They're in the final. They can still win all 4. Chelsea, I don't think they were a shambles like you said.
Oh, they were tonight. Chelsea fans are not going to be happy with that performance. They're not. I'm sorry, they're not. Need more invention. Come on, they got some top players. Chelsea have got some top players. And I genuinely, look, I know, and I'll say it again, Arsenal are fantastic defensively. They are. That's probably why they're going to win the league, because of the way they set up defensively, but they weren't great. They weren't, I wasn't watching the performance from Arsenal going, oh my God, look at this team. They're just solid. They're resilient. They don't give you too many chances. They cover spaces well. They make it hard to get easy crosses in the box. They're a good, solid team. Chelsea, I was expecting way more from them. Well, throw everything at it. What's the young lad's name? Esteval.
He brought him and Palmer on, didn't he, with like 20 minutes to go, something like that.
Yeah.
And Palmer made a difference straight away, getting in between the lines, getting in the pockets. He's turning, and he needs 3 targets to thread in. But Arsenal centre-backs, they're like 6'5", athletic, agile. Like, close the gaps. Full-backs close the gaps. So,
look, if you're not going to start Esteval and Palmer, I would have brought them on at half time. It's 0-0. Right? So the first half, stay in the tie. I get that. I understand that. You don't want to lose it in the first 20 minutes. They keep Arsenal to 0-0 half time. Right, now we've got to throw everything at them. We've got to go and try and win the game. We've got to throw everything at
as a manager, Jamie, innit? That's the dilemma, right? At half time, you'll be sitting there, Liam Rosenior, thinking, do I bring Palmer and Esteval on and risk them not running back and us going another goal down? At what point do I go for it? But they were a bit punchless, and Arsenal defended well.
Yeah, well, they are through to the final. Let's go to Zach. He's an Arsenal fan. All right, Zach?
Hi, Zach.
Who's Arsenal about me?
Zach. Your name Zach?
Yeah.
All right, Zach.
You all right? I'm pleased with that. I can't wait for the finals. I think we're going to win the cup. I think we'll win the Carabao Cup. Really?
Well, you'll be odds-on favourites.
Man City are.
Man City are favourites before Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, look, Zach, you played well tonight. Solid. That's all I can say. It wasn't an amazing performance. You played well.
Well, it wasn't the most exciting, but
it was a ball fest.
We're through to the final, so I can't complain really. I mean, boring football, but we're through to a final. We have a cup on the line. and I can't complain. I know every Arsenal fan can.
No.
I'm still not happy with Victor Gyökeres, though. He can't make a good run.
We was having this discussion.
We were chatting about it, and without jumping in too early, because you got to give him a chance. He's gone from Sporting Lisbon to a big club in Arsenal. The pressure's on him, and sometimes he does look like he's struggling for pace. He's obviously he's a bit of class when he's linking up. He does.
He lacks class.
He does lack a bit of that, but I'm not going to criticise him too much. I've got to give him a chance, because if he keeps scoring, then he'll feel like he's a good player, and you might see a different player. But at the moment, he looks like he's struggling to be. I think Jesus is a better player than him.
I think Haaaaas is a better player than him.
Exactly, yeah. I think, like I said the other week, it's just the only problem with Jesus is he's injury prone. He can't stay fit.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think in the summer we should get, if it continues like this, we should get rid of him and get a new striker. I'd quite like to see
Get rid of Gyökeres. You want to sell him?
If it doesn't improve until the summer, I want to get rid of him. Yeah.
One season, that's it. One season, no, not for us. See you later.
I'm just not a big fan of him.
No.
I think there's so many better strikers out there that could handle the pressure.
Well, he's a poacher. He's a goal poacher. He'll look as if he's a bit rusty around the edges, but because he's got different skills to Jesus. The argument with Jesus is that he's not clinical enough in front of goal. That was been the argument with him, and he can't stay fit. The same for Haaaaas, not lethal in front of goal, but an all-rounder, good player. So you sign Gyökeres because you think he's the man on the end of the cross, like Haaland does. But he's struggling, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not the level.
Even before we got Gyökeres and we was looking at Sesko, I think he would have fitted our style of play so much more better. I think we should take it more seriously over Gyökeres, because I feel like he would have fitted Arsenal's style of play so much better.
Do you know I thought struggled a bit tonight as well? Madueke and Eze.
Yep.
Eze.
Yep.
I thought they struggled to create anything, the two of them.
Eze's going under the radar. He's having a poor season, Eze. He's having a poor season. I've not been convinced of him. Look, he played amazing against Tottenham, and that will forever be etched in the history of him playing like he did. But consistently over the season so far, Eze hasn't really done it for me.
Well, he's got to grab the shirt, because the two of them, if I was the manager, Arteta, I'd say to the two of them, you got to grab that shirt while you've got it, because Odegaard wants to play there, Jesus wants to play there, Saka wants to play. So if you want to stay in the team, you've got to produce. Semi-final of the Cup, Chelsea at home, we're winning. I'm expecting you to light the stadium up, the two of you. Didn't happen, did it?
It didn't happen.
Zach, they won. So
yeah, they've won. They've gone through. So that's all that matters really to Arsenal fans. But Gyökeres as I like Madueke, but I think Madueke's a really good player. He's direct. He tries to make something happen. He finds himself running down holes sometimes, and he can't find his way out of them. But I like him. I think he's direct, but his end product needs to be better. Let's go to Zach, who's a Chelsea fan. All right, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Hiya.
How you feeling?
As Chelsea, what did we even create from that match? I felt like I just wasted my time watching this match. I mean, from the lineup, the lap, absolute donkey up front. And then we got Gusto, who still can't control the ball. The only people that could hold their hands up and say, yes, I played a good game today, was Chalobah, Sanchez, and João Pedro. Oh my, how is that all tactics? All I've seen from today was Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, boot it up to Rosehead.
Well, it was an ultra defensive system that he put out. 5-4-1.
I mean, why we keep going down the middle again and again and again? It's like running through a wall.
Yeah, he didn't create much to do in the game, and I just thought he tried to stay in the game.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm a regular guy. I'm only 20 years old. I'm not a manager, but I can see we're just running through a wall down the middle. Garnacho, where's he going? He's already in the corner flag. He looks like he doesn't want to touch the ball at all.
I think you got it all. I think Rossini gets it wrong tonight. I get staying in the game for the first 20 minutes, half hour. I get that, but you're losing the game. You've got to go and win the game. You've got to go and make something happen.
We're not chasing it. We got the lap up front, and we got João Pedro by himself. He's struggling. The only player who's holding up the ball And then when Cole Palmer came on, what a player. He was looking for options. There was no options. He gets the ball, he's looking up, no one has turned around. Literally nothing. He's tried everything.
You know what, though? 20 clean sheets for a reason, Arsenal. So it's not that easy to score past them.
No, I get they're fantastic at the back. I do, but we're talking about top players here, international footballers, make something happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make a clear-cut chance. I can't really remember a real clear-cut chance that Chelsea had.
When Cole Palmer was getting on the half turn in the number 10 position, he kept finding spaces. He needs
but no options.
Well, he needs wide receivers, doesn't he? Like, in American football, where you got a quarterback, if there's no runners, he can't put you in. And he struggled to find anybody through balls. Pedro's not rapid. He's good with his back to goal, but they just struggled out the wide areas. I can't, like the wingers. Garnacho comes inside on his right foot all the time. Delap's not a right winger. Neto's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they miss him. He would have made a difference.
I know, but Esteval, he's a player you want to, I look at it and go, how long do you need? We want to give these players... Look, it's 0-0 at half-time. I don't know why you don't bring on your best players at half-time. Bring on Cole Palmer and Esteval at half-time. Say, right, lads, first job is done. We're 0-0, we're in the game. We frustrated them. We are in this tie. We've got 45 minutes to throw everything at them now. Like, let's throw caution to the wind. There's no point in us sitting off anymore. There's no point waiting another 20 minutes. We're either going to win this game or we're getting knocked out.
Well,
go and try and make something happen.
I'm not going to criticise the manager too much because I don't know whether I was looking at him trying to think what he's thinking, and I don't know whether he was thinking like this, but they are scared of Arsenal. They are scared to open up against Arsenal because they're the best team in the league, and you're 3-2 down. If you go 4-2 down, you're dead. But with quarter of an hour to go, you need one goal. Do I open up with quarter of an hour to go? Do I stick some...
No, but you're taking a risk of not...
We're running out of time, yeah.
That's
management for you. If you get it right, you're saying, what a brilliant tactician if they score a goal tonight. But because they haven't scored, he's now got it all wrong. But that's management. You make that decision when you're on the side of the pitch. And right now, he's called it wrong, hasn't he?
Is that what you think he's done?
I think he's waiting as long as he could to not lose a goal, because if you open up against Arsenal, they got people who can hurt you from all angles.
No, but you've got to try and win the game, Dean.
So I know. He played 5-4-1.
You've got to be brave in that moment. It's a Carabao Cup semi-final. You've got to be brave.
Yeah. Well,
try and make something happen out of the game.
Well, I can't...
Look at Man United. I take them as an example. Man United went there to try and win the game. That's what they did. And they concede. He brings on a striker. They score again. They win 3-2. Tonight, I watched a Chelsea side who really looked like they were waiting to not concede. They just didn't want to concede another goal and then try and nick one.
Well, the shape.
You've got to do more than that against Arsenal.
The shape told you they try not to concede a goal. 5-4-1. Pedro up the front on his own. He left two of the silky players on the bench, and he's thought, I'll bring them on with half an hour to go, 20 minutes to go, and try and get a goal, get into extra time, and see how it goes from there. But I can't stick up for him because he's got it wrong. They've lost.
Let's go to Ranjit. He's Arsenal fan. All right, Ranjit.
Hi, Ranjit.
Hi, good evening. I was at the game, and I think Arsenal actually did a real professional performance tonight. I think they basically assembled their squad together, and tonight everything was proven correctly by Arteta. And I think, end of the day, people knocking Haaaaas, I just don't think he's had the service. If you give him the ball, he can obviously get the ball and go ahead and put the ball in back of the net. Unfortunately, he's not been getting the ball.
Well, it's tough for him tonight because he's playing against three defenders, 1 against 3. He's got Eze playing behind him, but there's 3 defenders marking him. So
I need more
for him.
I hear you, Ranjit. I get all that, but as a centre forward, you've got to go and implement yourself on the game. He's non-existent.
I get that. But then tonight, obviously, Eze was given that chance to obviously, instead of Odegaard, to put him in that position to pass the balls to Haaaaas. But Haaaaas wasn't obviously end of the day getting any balls. So end of the day, he won a few obviously won the balls in the aerial battles, and he obviously got there. So he did his best. So I don't think we need to knock him. He will come good. Don't forget, this is his first season in the Premier League. He's got to adjust himself. and he will come good. So I don't like people just keep on knocking him left, right, and centre, especially you, Jamie O'Hara. You need to understand that if he wasn't playing against you, he'd probably get a hat trick in every single game. But
I've never actually knocked him. I've never actually. I said he needs to do more as a footballer. I said he needs to do more. I don't care. I don't care if he plays well or not. I'm not an Arsenal fan. You got Arsenal fans coming on here saying he's rubbish.
You spot on. You spot on. I was his manager. You're right.
Those Arsenal fans, right? If they watch the game properly, I go to every single home game, right? I don't go away, but I go watch them at home. And I tell you what, he's obviously, when he gets a service, he'll put the ball in back of the net. Now, obviously, he will get his chance and he will prove it. So now, obviously, tonight, Chelsea, the onus was on them to go up there and score the goal. They're the one that were 3-2 down, not us. And then the onus was on them. But what did they do? We were too good for them, end of the day. We just shut up shop.
No, you're right. And you're right what you're saying. You've got an argument there about Gyökeres, because how many times did Trossard...
wait there, because we've got to go to Jim Proudfoot, because he is with Chelsea manager Liam Rosenior.
Yes, thank you. I'm joined by the Chelsea manager, Liam Rosenior. Thank you for coming out. What's your overriding emotion after that, Liam?
Disappointed. Frustrated to not go through to a Wembley final. We felt coming here, as difficult a task as it is to be a goal down, we felt like we really had a good chance if we got the game plan right in terms of the energy we had in the team, the absentees we had, in terms of the way we wanted the game to go. A lot of positive things, but the result leaves a bitter taste in the mouth.
Why a bitter taste in the mouth? Bitter because you felt that you
win.
No, I know, but I mean, bitter, frustrated that you didn't win, or because of the way things transpired?
No, just because we didn't win. That's what we're here to do. In terms of the fight in the team, the intensity of our press, the way we defended set plays, the desire to defend our goal. Their goal comes last minute. We're throwing 11 men into their box. That's a natural occurrence. But in terms of what the players gave me, I couldn't ask for much more. But in terms of the result, which is why we're here, you always want to win the games that you play.
Tactically, you sprang a surprise, playing a back three, playing with Liam Delap out on the right-hand side. How do you feel as though your players handled that?
For the players, in terms of we had one day to prepare. I didn't name the team. Normally I name the team the day before. I didn't name the team until this afternoon, because we have fitness tests in our squad to see who was fit and ready to go. It's been a really difficult schedule for our lads. The travel, the energy they're putting into the games. So we had to go about it in a different way. The players believed in the plan. It just didn't quite work out for us on the night.
You made a tactical change in the second half. Was that always the plan, or was that more of a reaction to where the game was at that stage, or was that a premeditated that you would switch to a four and start bringing attacking options on?
You always have premeditated plans for every game, for every situation. We prepared to still be, if we were a goal down with half an hour to go, we had a system that we spoke about this afternoon and this morning. And Cole and Esteval, for different reasons. Este, I just have to say, for a young kid to go through what he's gone through with his family, to fly and see his family, and then to come back and put his name down for the team, says everything about his character and his attitude. So my thoughts are with him and his family. Cole is giving everything, and you see when he comes on what an outstanding world-class player he is, but he was so fatigued from the last game and previous things as well that we're working on to get him back to where he wants to be. But the half an hour he was on the pitch, he showed what a special player he is. And obviously missing Pedro, missing Reece, Jamie Gittins. We've had a difficult few days in terms of that, and hopefully those two players, Jamie will be out for long, be back for Saturday.
What are the positives that you can take out of that you will refer to for going forward for future games?
Yeah, I think not just this game. I think there's an attitude and intensity about the team. I think there's an organisation in our press and a connection between them that I'm really enjoying seeing. So we have to make sure that this setback doesn't set us back in terms of the future. We have a huge game against Wolves in 3 days, and we need to keep our run in the Premier League going, which is 3 out of 3.
Liam, commiserations tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah, Liam Rosenior there with Jim Proudfoot. What did you make of the...
Well, he said what he was planning there. Half an hour to go, we'll stick the 2 subs on and we'll change the system if we're 1-0 down. So that's what his intentions was from the start, because if you play 5-4-1, which they played, that is basically trying not to concede a goal. and maybe nicking one from a set play or something.
Yeah.
So he's set up like that to keep the score as it was, and half an hour to go. Let's play him. Some managers do that. Let's have a game for half an hour. We'll nullify the game until the last half an hour where we're open up, stick the subs on, and try and get back in it. But they've got a few injuries as well.
Do you think they should have been a bit more adventurous?
Well, obviously, after the result, it's easy to say, well, obviously, yes, they should have gone for it a bit earlier. But they didn't create enough, really. They didn't really. No. They were a bit punchless. But there's lots of teams punchless against Arsenal. 20 clean sheets they've had. So it's not easy to score past them.
Yeah. All right. Get your calls in. Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, you want to have your say on tonight's performance? 03 717 22 33 44.
I'm up here to try and win a couple of football matches, you know. And if there's a bit of what shall I say, shenanigans going on in the background, I can't do anything about that at this minute. But seriously, when I get an opportunity, I shall try and join the Peace Corps sometime and try and work it out from there.
No, but they are far apart, Martin. And we see the protests all the time.
Yeah, well, it's not close. It's not close. Yeah. So what would you want me to do, Joe?
He wants you to be a sort of UN delegate. Listen, if you bridge this gap, are you going to build a sense? If you bridge this gap and you chase Hearts down,
there you go.
Are you going to build a sense of entitlement in yourself about this job past the end of this season? Are you going to have a little bit about you and push yourself forward and say, "Excuse me, I think this is an opportunity I should be getting"?
Yeah. Right. That's well and truly in the future. I wouldn't know. The chances are that I would not.
Well, you know yourself, don't you? If you chase Hearts down and win this league, would you want this job if it was there to be gotten?
Yeah. Would I want the job? Do you want an answer now?
Yeah, probably I do. Not. Yeah, I do. Because I know you would.
Right. Yeah, probably not.
You don't want it.
Are you serious, Martin? But probably not. Yeah. You wouldn't want it full time.
Yeah, but listen, lads, you two are young men. There's a difference. You know, you're young men, you're vibrant.
He's not young.
No, he is. But listen, everyone's young comparison to me. So, and I do not. Listen, lads, that's seriously. It's the first time. I think I spoke to my wife there recently. She said, "The first time you've worked in your life."
Yeah, I know full well that you've got the capability of doing it longer term.
listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie Hart, Dean Saunders. Loads to go at. Arsenal through to the Carabao Cup final. 4-2 win on aggregate against Chelsea. 1-0 tonight, thanks to a last-minute goal from Kai Havertz. Chelsea fans, what did you make of the performance, the setup, the tactics? Arsenal fans, you've got it done. You're into the final. Fair play. Fantastic again defensively. Wasn't a brilliant game, but job done. Let's go to Rich. He's an Arsenal fan. All right, Rich?
Hi, Rich.
How we doing?
I'm all right, Rich. I'm all right. What did you make of it?
Professional job. I only ever get to listen to the Sports Bar when I come out of the games. Unfortunately, I have tried to bring in so many times to talk to you, Jamie, because it is. I do like listening to you, and I catch up with your shows like in the mornings on like the Facebook reels and stuff like that, which I absolutely love, because the entertainment that you give as a Tottenham fan is absolutely amazing, and I love it. And I have really wanted to get through to you, so I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Well, it's painful for me right now seeing you in all competitions.
It is, which is great. The best one the other day was when I heard you saying about like, no one's going to remember this team and all the rest of it. Jamie, you must be quaking in your boots, because if they win all four, and I don't think we will.
You won't.
But if they win all four, oh my days, can you imagine what you're going to have to come out with?
Just think though, right? You'll be, right? Just imagine you win all 4 trophies and still no one cares about Arsenal.
Jamie, listen. Where I try and find out where the media's thing is with it, right? I love football. Football's my life, really. Like, I hope my missus ain't listening to this, but so what I try and gauge is all the greatest teams along. Like, I'm 43. I'll go Arsenal home and away. Like, but I love football. I love my football. So all the greatest teams that have won leagues and everything else, and you know, the treble winners and everything else, like they've had to grind out performances. Like they've had to, you know, all this new like teams setting up low block and all that rubbish that everyone goes on about. But when teams get over the line, like everybody else, the great Liverpool teams, the great Man City teams, like they're doing enough professional champions. That's what champions are made of. That's what champions do. Arsenal do it. We're boring. Like honestly,
yeah, no, listen. Look, Rich, I can't. You're brilliant. You're a brilliant team. Like, you're a great team. Defensively, you're fantastic. You're hard to break down. You make it difficult. You know, Chelsea. They say they're punchless.
Sure, I heard you saying they're the worst team ever.
No, but I find them boring. I find them boring. That's just me as a neutral.
You said they're a brilliant team.
No, they're a brilliant. As in, they're a team. But when I think of teams that get remembered, when I think about a team who's going to be remembered, I think of Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, Haaland. I think of Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez. You know, I think of the sides who have won it. You know, Thierry Henry. You know, that team there and Bergkamp and that. When I look at this team, and that's no fault of Arsenal's. Your best players are Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya, and Declan Rice.
Saka.
But Saka's been poor. Saka's been poor. The problem you've got is you'll be remembered for being a really good side, but ain't exciting.
What has to happen? What has to happen is that like I hear about all these things about like it's the worst Premier League in the like for years and blah 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 blah. Like, I don't understand that's because Arsenal are making it like for me the lower sides have got better. For me, I think they've got better. When teams are running away, Man City getting 100 points and all the rest of it, like how is that? So the gauge then is like Man City go and get 100 points in the Premier League, and it's the best Premier League ever. But they're smashing.
No, I don't think it was the best Premier League. I think it's the best team. That team was an unbelievable side that you remember.
But Jamie, what did they do? They won the Premier League, and they've done what they had to do.
Yeah, and you won't care. You won't care because you're going to win. You're going to win the Premier League. But your own goals, your top scorer.
Any more than Arsenal? They don't get any more than Arsenal, do they? If Arsenal win 1-0 or 8-0, we get 3 points and we carry on. And that's and there is a lot of that goes on like within our own club as well. Some of our fan base is absolutely horrendous, which we all know. But like it's tough to win a league. I've been fortunate enough to see us win leagues, and some people haven't. It's not easy. And if we win 1-0, we win 1-0, and that's the way it is. Ultimately, you get 3 points, and on we go. But
I've got one for you. You can look for it in the future because obviously Chelsea tonight they tried a tactic, didn't they, from the corners?
Yeah.
Right at the last minute, they send 3 players up the pitch. Yeah. Right, and then you've got a dilemma. if you're Arsenal, do we bring 4 back, or do we go 3v3? And really,
but did you see the first time they done it? The first time they done it, we nearly scored.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. He would have looked stupid, but the ref spoilt it a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, the ref spoilt it a bit because he slowed the game down.
If they'd have scored, then the tactics backfired on Chelsea on it. But
I think what you'll see now is teams will try and probably adopt that approach.
Because it seems like there's 7 players around the goalkeeper.
I think Arsenal will run the risk. I think they're so good from set pieces, they'll run the risk of taking that chance.
Well,
Jamie, just try not to put too many negative Arsenal fans on tonight. Like, I got in the car, the first one, I turned the radio on, and the first thing I hear was Gyökeres this, Gyökeres that. Oh my God!
All right, Rich, but you go home and away. You go home and away, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm moaning. Saka ain't been great. Trossard actually thinks had a good season. Martinelli hasn't scored enough goals. Eze's been a letdown. Odegaard's not been great, and Gyökeres again ain't been great. But you're top, and you're in every competition.
Absolutely, and I will say one thing about Gyökeres. When he got injured after the Burnley game, well, for me personally, and obviously it's all about opinions. For me personally, I thought we noticed he wasn't playing. You know, and that's what for me made me want him to be back there, because he was offering us something different. And I'll tell you another thing as well: the goal against Leeds last week, the goal against Palace at home, the Chelsea goal in the first leg. I guarantee you this now: if Gyökeres isn't on the pitch, Arsenal don't score them goals. 100%. Nobody else is in that position to score them 3 goals that he has scored. All right, it's only 3, but they were still big goals.
And if your wide players, which you've got loads of, if they keep getting to the byline, he will score goals, because that's what he feeds off.
Martinelli whipped the ball in from the right-hand side, but there was a talk about that. Obviously, Saka cutting back in on his left, and the ball's not coming in direct from like the natural position for a centre forward to run onto. The ball gets whipped in at Leeds on Saturday from a right footer, and he scores. You know, so there is a little bit of that. I heard someone say earlier on about the service. I think there is a little bit of that as well, but. Ultimately, there's 11 players on the pitch. You know, we wanted a goal scorer. We've had Lacazette that worked hard and run around and all the rest of it. And back in the day, there was Nicholas Bentner who worked really hard sometimes. But we needed a goal scorer, and so there is always going to be that argument. But look, it's a good night tonight. So all the gooners that are trying to ring up and be negative, just put the phone down and don't, and just enjoy your night, because they don't come around too often.
Rich, you're a star, mate. Thanks for phoning in. Keep your calls coming in. I want to hear from Chelsea fans. You're disappointed with tonight's performance. Cundy will come on as well. And we've got Arteta, who's just done an interview. He's coming up next. 03 717 22 33 44. I've just had a conversation with Cundy, which I find completely remarkable, and I'd like you to tell the nation, because I want to know how other people have witnessed this.
So, I don't do it anymore, because the barbers I go to now have this little white thing they put around my neck, and they tuck it around the shawl that you wear when you sit down.
Yes.
But I used to, and this is going on for like 10, 15 years, I'd go into the barbers I'd go into, and I would take my T-shirt off, and he would cut my hair with the bare...
So you'd sit in a barber shop with your shirt off?
My shirt off, but I...
Just your chest out?
No, because no. Because what I don't want is I don't want the hair touching my T-shirt that comes off, right? So hair on the T-shirt, forget that, or shirt, whatever you wear. So now I don't need to do it, because the guy puts this thing round and then he tucks it around the shawl.
Yeah, I know what that is, mate.
Right.
Everyone goes to a barber shop.
Right, I know, but the barber shop before didn't do that. And I used to think, so I take my T-shirt off, sit in the barber's chair, and then he would put round the shawl that everyone's got and tuck it round my back. I can't have hair on my T-shirt. So it's an absolute no-no.
So you sat in a barber shop with your top off and a shawl over you?
Yes.
Well, you're such a weird guy.
I don't think that's weird.
It's so weird.
I don't think it is.
Do you mean you just sat there in a barber shop? No one does that.
I do. I guarantee there are people listening to this going, I know what Cundy's on about there.
I've been in a barber shop for 25 years.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone with their top off having their hair cut.
Well, you didn't go to the barber shop. I did. You walked in with me. You'd have seen it.
There is something wrong with you, honestly.
It's true. I guarantee the people going, I know what Cundy's on about. Don't like that hair on the... Once the hair gets on the T-shirt, there's no...
No, I get the hair on the T-shirt.
It's irreversible.
No, I get that.
Right, okay.
Just go home and change your T-shirt.
Well, what if you're not going home? All day you go, got that itch, got the itch, got the hair, I can feel it. Oh. And then it gets in your head. And then you feel, is that hair? Oh, and they're itching. No, that's terrible stuff, that. Terrible stuff.
You kill me.
No, it's true.
You listen to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie Hart, Dean Saunders. We'll hear what Pep Guardiola had to say about Man City's spending in his presser earlier today. But first, Arsenal. They're through to the final. They won 4-2 against Chelsea. The Gunners 1-0 up tonight after Kai Havertz scores. Let's cross over to the Emirates now. Hear from Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta, who's with talkSPORT's Jim Proudfoot.
Yes, Jamie, thank you very much indeed. I'm delighted to say I'm enjoyed by a jubilant Mikel Arteta. Congratulations, Mikel. That felt like a special night for you.
Yeah, it was a big night. It ended up in a perfect way, I would say, because we knew that was going to be a really top one, a really competitive side, full of quality, and the conditions make it a real battle today as well. So I think we competed so well. We understood what we had to do. It was a game of very, very fine margins, and at the end we find a way to win it.
And it was an intriguing tactical encounter as well, with Chelsea playing with a back three, which you possibly might not have been expecting. How do you feel as though you coped with that in the first half?
Well, when we prepared the game, we knew that we were going to have to play a lot of mini games within the game. From the beginning, they could change it, even with the profile of players that they could have on the pitch. So we adjusted at halftime. We were ready because probably in relation to the context of the match, they could change it again. And the last 30 minutes is going to be all or nothing. And we had to cope with that. I think mentally we were really strong. And I think overall, the two legs, I think we deserve to win the final.
And amidst the tension of the night, it felt like a very disciplined performance from you. What pleased you the most?
First of all, the atmosphere and the energy in the stadium, which I think it was superb from the beginning. And then, yeah, there was, when you get to this stage in the competition against these teams, you really have to stand up. And the individual performance is everything, almost. And we have some big ones tonight.
Kai Havertz was the man that provided the big moment for you. What did it mean for him? What does it mean for you, having seen what he's been through over the course of the season, for him to be the man that provided that?
Probably if I would have asked the question in the dressing room, who would you like to score the last minute goal, they would all say Kai Havertz, and it happened. And that's the beautiful thing about sports, in football in general, that you never know when you turn the corner and you fight when the joy is going to come, and he fully deserves that.
From what you've experienced in your career in the past as a coach, when you were at Manchester City, for instance, can success in March then breed success in May?
For sure. I mean, the fact that you win, that brings confidence, energy, trust at every level. And once you've done it once, it's easier to make it the second one. So today was a hurdle that we have to go through against a really tough opponent, and we deserve to be in Wembley.
Mikel, well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mikel Arteta there speaking after the game. Let's go to Gordon. who's an Arsenal fan. Right, Gord?
Hi, Gordon.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, gents. Yeah, hi. Just obviously coming back, very happy. I'm like the previous gentleman, I'm positive, and I travel domestically all to home away fixtures. I was just going to ask you what you thought, about how far we can go this season in terms of trophies, because we could end up winning a few, we could end up, I'm realistic, we could end up winning nothing. So I just wonder what you thought on that.
Well,
what your thoughts are, please.
You're there or thereabouts. Can't get away from the fact that yous are going to be at the latter stages of every competition, I feel. Premier League is almost sewn up.
How many do you think we're going to win, though, honestly? Like, if you had to... I know you don't want to make this prediction, Jamie, but to this extent, Dean, how many trophies do you honestly feel we'll win this season?
I've had a pound on at 100 to 1 they win the quadruple. I've had a pound on
that.
Quadruple.
Well, by the
It's
way,
never been done before. It ain't happening.
were you serious when you said Man City are favourites to beat Arsenal?
When we spoke to Ryan from talkSPORT Bet, that's what he told us, that they were the favourites to win.
I think Arsenal would be favourites to win everything they were in. When you look at Arsenal's bench and the players they bring on the pitch, you know, there's no Skelly, there's no Anwari, there's no Saka, there's no Marino, and they've got Jesus coming on, Trossard coming on. Honestly, it takes me back to Man City when Pep, first game of the season, I'll never forget it, he didn't sign one player. First game of the season, 3 subs get off the bench. De Bruyne, Sane, and I can't remember the other one. It was like Gundogan.
Yeah.
3 players coming on.
No, they've got a good squad.
And really, there's no reason why they can't win everything.
Well, look, you're in with a shout, Gold. I'll give you that. You're in with a shout. But I remember Liverpool had this moment when the quad was on for them. They played every game in the season, and they ended up only winning 2 when they could have won 4. So, look, it's fine margins, right? You're in the final. You're going to play Man City. Not Newcastle.
I put a cheeky quid on us to get 125 to 1 also about a month ago to do the quad.
Why'd you get 125 to 1?
We're not going to win the quad. We've got to be realistic about it. No one's done it before, and I don't think, I'd be happy with, like, say, the League and the League Cup. I'd be more than happy with that.
Well, that's why it's 125 to 1 for a reason. So it is really difficult to do, and you've got to have a bit of luck. You've got to have players coming into form when it matters right at the end of the season. But they have got a great chance of doing it. I wouldn't back... If Man City get through tomorrow, I'd back Arsenal to beat them in the final. Would you? Yeah. And I wouldn't back anyone to beat them in the Champions League. Nobody. Look, they've had 20 clean sheets. They can do a bit of everything. He spent 5 years putting that team together. He added Rice, so they stopped getting counter-attacked. Like tonight, if Rice wasn't there, what's he been there, 2 years now? 3 years?
Yeah.
Before that, they were getting like a sieve, letting goals in. They signed Declan Rice. He stands in front of the centre-backs, stops you getting counter-attacked, disciplined, professional. Then he's added, like, wingers with flair. Jesus kept getting injured, so he signed Zinchenko and Jesus, didn't he, from Man City? Added a bit more quality, got rid of...
Talking about a £200 million
so
player.
He could make the difference in the final, because that's why he's worth all that money.
Yeah, I mean, look, fair play to him. I was just saying to him when we was off air, you know, we dig out Arsenal, we have a bit of fun with it, and, you know, they can be a bit boring to watch. But if you go into a football club, the first thing you want to sort out is your back four and your keeper. And that's exactly what he's done. He has built a team that is so hard to beat. Now he's just got to get the other players to go and make things happen, right? They're top of the league because they're solid. All right, they do score goals and they create chances, I get that. But they've got one hell of a back five that you're just so hard to break down.
But most of all, we've seen what's happened to Man United when the culture and the discipline and the work rate disappears from your football club.
Yeah.
The pride in wearing a Man United shirt, the rules that come with wearing that shirt, where wide players like Giggs and Beckham run the length of the field as fast as they go forward. They run that fast going the other way.
Yeah.
And then we've seen that disappear. Players signing players with talent who don't have the right attitude. Arteta has been given 5 years. There's not one player at Arsenal with a bad attitude. If you look at it, not one of them. They're all winners. none of them caused trouble. They're all playing for the team. And that's what you're on about. When you get a team like that, it's like when teams get promoted, you know, and they carry it on, like Wrexham.
Yeah.
It's that attitude and the culture at the club that carries you past teams who are more talented than he.
Yeah.
And he's got that.
Yeah, he has. He's instilled it for sure. All right, keep your calls coming in. Loads to go. We're going to give Jason Cundy a call. See where he is. He's probably crying in his rosé wine somewhere. But we'll take more. I want to some. Where's the Chelsea fans? Like, surely Chelsea fans are going to be fuming tonight. I've got a couple here. I need more because that tonight for me was a poor performance. I know Arsenal were great, but you needed to be more. In a semi-final, Chelsea are a massive football club with some big earners, some talented football players. I don't think you turned up tonight. 03 717 22 33 44.
Back in 2024, when asked if Tottenham had fallen behind their top six rivals, Romero told Telemundo Deportes, maybe he thought that we wouldn't get to hear it, but we did hear it. He says, the truth is, Manchester City competes every year. You see how Liverpool strengthens its squad, Chelsea strengthened their squad. And then I think he puts himself in the situation in Tottenham. Those are the things to imitate. You have to realise that something's going wrong. Hopefully they realise it. Well, he's talking about the hierarchy, isn't he, Simon?
Well, he's comparing Tottenham to legacy football clubs and football clubs that are owned by nation states. So there's no real comparison there. But he's wanting to make a point. There's nothing wrong with what he said there. It's whether he should say these sort of things. He said it more recently when he bottled the perspective of flapping his gums about people telling lies and then withdrew that particular statement. Say something, stick with it. It makes life difficult for Thomas Frank because people above him are going to say, do you have control over your players?
Yeah.
Not so much what the players think of the manager, but the manager, what the people above Thomas Frank think of his control over the players.
Yeah.
And
do you think he does?
Well, I think this guy's uncontrollable. I think he does what he wants. I think he thinks he's bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. I think he's bigger than his football club. And we've seen it previously a couple of times in the past where he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. I like him as a footballer. I don't think he's set the world on fire. He's made a few headlines recently because he scored a few goals and he looks like Captain Invincible. When it comes to his defensive prowess, I think he's left a lot to be desired at times.
I agree.
But I also look at it and say that, you know, this is the culture that's being allowed to be seeded in this club. With respect to this player, and it's easy to be said, if I was senior manager at this club, he would have got one opportunity to say this. He said it 2-3 weeks ago, where he talked about people telling lies and only coming up when it suits them. That would have been his starter for 10. He would have been told in no uncertain terms by me or my chief executive, you're going to find yourself in a serious situation if you keep on flapping your mouth and talking out of turn. You've got something to say, you say it internally. You don't use your social media or the media full stop to start imparting your particular brand of wisdom to those that will listen.
Life after football. For a lot of players, it means going into punditry. Some turn to coaching or working in the game in other ways. But what about the rest? Some former footballers turn their sights away from the game, and there are a few big surprises. First up, from rainbow flicks to pancake flips. Ex-Chelsea and Southampton defender Ken Monku switched up his footballing career to buy a Dutch pancake house. He bought out the shop, which had been his favourite pancake spot as a child, and before long he was mixing the batter and getting behind the stove. Next, Everton legend Thomas Gravesen swapped out the high stakes of the Premier League for those of the poker room. He made over 150 appearances for the Toffees and won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic. Turned out the Danish international was pretty darn good at poker. He racked up a reported £100 million from his Las Vegas adventures. Remember former Chelsea goalkeeper Petr Cech? Turns out football nets weren't the only goals he was pretty handy in front of. After retirement, he became a goaltender in ice hockey. Same skills, very different surface. And he even won a Division 2 title with Guildford Phoenix. For ex-Liverpool centre-back Daniel Agger, it wasn't just fancy footwork that was in his blood. He was also pretty good with his hands. The Denmark international turned to tattoo artistry after he hung up his boots. He'd qualified as a skin artist while at Anfield, and he then became the co-owner of his own tattoo company as well. It's not all glamour for ex-pros though. 1966 World Cup winner Ray Wilson set up a very different kind of business. He became an undertaker after he retired. Finally, not many people can say they've won both a World Cup and starred in an Oscar-winning film. In fact, there's only one person in the entire world who can say that. Frank Leboeuf, the former Chelsea defender, was part of the 1998 France squad who won the World Cup. He ended up marking Brazil's Ronaldo in the final and helped his side to a 3-0 win. But Leboeuf had already begun acting on the side while he was playing football, and his biggest role came some years after his retirement when he landed the part of a doctor in the Stephen Hawking biopic The Theory of Everything.
I embrace the career of acting, so I want to learn more. So seeing lots of movies is a part of my job.
To be honest, with all the dramatic diving in the game these days, there's probably tons of ex-pros who've got the acting skills to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah, good evening. You are listening to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie Hart, Dean Saunders. We're going to be joined by the Telegraph's George Chesterton to discuss his article in the paper today where he slated the Arsenal fan base for being insufferable. We've got Midnight Triv coming up as well. Arsenal through to the Carabao Cup final, though. 4-2 win against Chelsea. They go 1-0 up on the night as well. Last-minute goal from Kai Havertz. Here is how it sounded loud on talkSPORT.
Tonight, it's Chelsea trying to do what not many have managed this season, stop the Arsenal. 3-2 to the Gunners from the first leg.
Brought down by Trossard. Fall from him to Rice. Rice knocks it square through the midfield. Kai Havertz to win it on the night. Round the keeper. Side puts it in. Arsenal are at Wembley.
Arsenal's resilience is on show tonight. It's why they don't get beat.
It is Arsenal's night. They've won by a goal to nil with almost the last kick of the game. A goalless draw would have done them, and it looked as though that was what was going to happen. They haven't won a major competition for 6 seasons, but they're 90 minutes away from breaking that duck in a final as they still, in early February, chase the quadruple.
Oh dear, that North London forever is going to be etched in my brain all summer, I feel. Right, there was another team there tonight, Chelsea. They didn't turn up, but they were there. And the main man who talks about him, he's not on tonight because he was doing the game. We have phoned him, and he's answered. Jason Cundy. All right, Cundy. Cundy.
Chelsea. Up the Club World Champions.
Shut up, mate. You were garbage, mate. Garbage.
Well done, the cringe and win FC. Beat the World Club champions. But look, well done. Hopefully, if they play in the final, beat them.
Jace, I'm not being funny, right? I don't know your take on this. I was disappointed in you lot tonight. I thought you were just miles off trying to go and win the game. It looked like you was just going there to not get beat.
Well, that's exactly what he set up to do. Look, after the first leg, that couldn't happen again, by the way, because Arsenal should have won that game at least by 2 or 3. And he's like, I can't have this happen again. And you could see, when you go 3 at the back, you know what he's doing, right? And at half-time, the problem we've got, the payoff, has got to be when you bring on the subs, have an impact. And unfortunately, we couldn't lay a glove on them, mate. And Winge and Cringe, they're good at the minute. You can't argue with Winge and Cringe. They do it well. They're the best side in the country. You know, they're the best side in Europe at the moment, even though they've never won the European Cup or the Champions League. It's you know.
Yeah, but Jace, listen, you can say all that, right? You can say all that, but you've got World Cup winners in your team. You've got top players in your team. You know, you've got international football players. Go and make something happen. Go and win the game. Go and throw, you know, everything at it. I mean, it was absolutely terrible. Even in the last 20 minutes, Cole Palmer comes on and he makes
that
a
didn't
difference.
work. No,
but come on, bring him on at half time. Playing Liam Delap right wing.
Yeah, no, that I didn't get the Liam Delap at right wing. I'll give you that. I didn't get that, but he tried to turn it into a 45-minute game. The problem you've got a 45-minute game is you've wasted 45 minutes to get back into the game. And the thing is with Arsenal, they're the best side of the country, and what they should have won this tie at Stamford Bridge. That's where the tie was won and lost, really. And you go there, and it's like, to be honest with you, I went there more in hope than real just expectation. And you know, what they're doing to Chelsea now, we used to do to them back in like the 2000s. No, we did though. It's the same. We swapped places. No, it's true. We used to pull their pants down, and now they're putting our pants down. That's basically how it works.
Jace,
Didier Drogba used to go in there, and we used to rock up, and we used to knock them out of cups, Champions League, and now, listen, you don't know about Champions League. If I was you, I'd pipe down. I mean, Dino's played for a team that's won the Champions League, so Dino, I think you've got something to say, my friend.
I played 4 teams that won the Champions League.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Actually, Jis, I agree with you. For what it's worth, I agree with you. He's gone up in my estimations, the manager, even though they've lost. Jamie's caning him.
What are you on about? How can you go up in your estimations?
Because...
Are you winding me up?
No, because tactically what he's done, he's thought, right, Arsenal could knock 3 or 4 past us if I open the front door trying to score a goal here. We might concede 2 or 3. So what we'll do, we'll play 5 at the back.
The problem is, right, once you set that out as your stall, that's fine. And at half time, but then you've got to then, the payoff has got to be, you make that count by laying a glove on them. And
yeah, but you can't tell that until after the game, Jace. You can't tell. That's management. That is management. I would have done exactly what he done.
Yeah,
and I got sacked.
No. But I totally get what he done, and I totally understand what he done. But then there's got to be payoff. There's got to be something you lean back on and go, the reason I've done that is because of that. And
okay, so basically what you're saying is, Chase, you're scared of Arsenal. You're scared.
Yeah. No, and to be honest with you, this is the thing. It's a 90-minute game that you're 1-0 down in. You can't concede the first goal. As I said to you last night, the next goal was crucial. We couldn't allow Arsenal to score the first goal in the game, because once they score it, it's probably cooked. And you've got to quiet the crowd. You know, I know you know what I'm about to say, but when you go to a game like that, you've got to try and take the sting out of the game for them. What you don't want to do is fuel what they're good at, which is give them a load of set pieces.
Wouldn't you have rather seen the team be a bit braver, though?
Say again?
Wouldn't you have rather seen your team be a bit braver, like Man United did there last week?
Yeah, but they set off at 0-0.
Yeah, and it's easy.
We're 1-0 down.
They won 3-2. So if that happens tonight, you go to extra time.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is, but you're going into a very different scenario. This is a 2-legged tie. If
you got nothing to lose.
We had nothing to lose, but at half time, we're in the tie.
Yeah, and then you come out and didn't lay a glove on them. Nothing changed.
And there's the payoff. It didn't pay off. And
Jace, you're in the game till the last minute. The last minute you were still in the game.
Yeah, and that's the way scoring a last-minute win like that, we've seen it so many times over the years, right? That's the way it has to be. You've got to throw men forward. It's risk and reward, and the reward never came. And then once you go forward like that, and you know what? That goal, it happens in football, especially when you're chasing the game. But the problem I've got is that we didn't lay a glove on them when we made the tactical changes. And maybe, looking back now, maybe we could have made those changes.
Should have made them at half-time, Jace. Make them at half-time.
Well, okay, or maybe before half-time. Maybe like going into... But then maybe you show your hand to Arteta. But it made them on 60, right? It made them on 59 minutes.
Yeah, right. You're giving players half hour, but, they're so hard to break down, Arsenal.
No, but do you know what? You're right. Maybe you should have done it at half-time, but the tactics were keep it here, keep the tie alive, and then try and lay a glove on. But, mate, there's a reason why they're top of the table. They're good, and that's why they're top of the Champions League. And, you know, it's, like I said, mate, it's where we were mid-2000s, and I recognise it. We used to do this to them. It's
Jace,
exactly what we
would
used to
you
do
have
to
been
them.
surprised if Cole Palmer had made a goal or scored a goal when he came on? I wouldn't have been.
I mean, he's not. Yeah, but the problem is, like, he ain't. It's not the Cole Palmer we saw 18 months ago. He's not been fit. Esteval got off a plane yesterday from Brazil. You know, but you're relying on players that ain't at the top of their game. Had they been at the top of their game, had Cole been playing every week, had Esteval...
Are you making
not
excuses?
gone to Brazil- No, I'm just saying.
You are making excuses here. Of all the
No, I'm not
people that
just
sit here and talk about,
No, we might-
excuses, and you're coming out with them.
No, I'm saying we might have seen a different team.
It's easy after the game. You
No,
know,
but, of course.
at the
Listen,
time, I
I'm
thought you'd
not
done the
happy.
right thing.
Jace, you know what you lot did tonight? You went up, you went to the Emirates, and you went, that's what you did. You got slapped. Slapped.
No, well, the thing
Cundy
is,
got
right?
slapped. Racinia, slapped. Esteval, slapped. Palmer, slapped. Oscar, slapped. All of you's got slapped.
Slap.
Honestly,
what,
Mickey
Jay?
Mouse,
When I
mate.
think-
Mickey Mouse stuff. I was expecting way more from
No,
you lot.
Well, look, that's the problem is we're not the Chelsea we were back in the mid-2000s. Arsenal ain't, right? We used to give them slaps, and then more slaps. Champions League slaps. Is Marco on the deck?
What are you doing now, Cundy? We going out for? We going to drown your sorrows? What are you doing?
No, I've already done that.
Oh dear. All right. Well, listen. I'll see you tomorrow. You're going to turn up. You're going to show face.
I've turned up tonight, mate. Do you know what I mean? I don't hide.
I know, mate. But tomorrow,
No,
mate, we've got it all. We got the full shebang coming your way tomorrow, mate. Clown outfit, the lot, the masks, the lot. Everything's coming at you. 2-footed.
Jason, before you go, how do you see that game going tomorrow? Newcastle, Man City.
Who cares? They're out. He don't care.
I mean, I just want Man City to go there and give Arsenal a slap in the final. More slaps. Slap. Arteta, slap on the back of the ear, slap. Havertz, slap.
Ask a silly question.
Oh, and by the way, Havertz, he was holding the badge. He held the badge up, his
No,
Arsenal badge. Proper football club.
He plays for Arsenal now, but listen, he's won the Champions League with Chelsea, mate. He scored the winning goal. Arsenal ain't going to see that. The only team in London to do it twice. All right, they live in our shadow in Europe.
I see. He's so boring, isn't he? Go home. Sort your life out. Oh, dear.
Good night and God bless.
See you later, Cundy.
See you, Jace.
Chin up, son. Shocking.
No, but I thought he was quite impartial there.
He took it quite well, actually. Normally he's a bit more fuming.
I agreed with him, though.
You know why? Because he knows that his team have turned up and he's just like, what is this? What am I watching? He knows what he's watched tonight.
Yeah, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like you can't like. How'd you beat Arsenal then? What'd you do? Go punch for punch? It's like fighting. It's like Mike Tyson. How would you beat Mike Tyson?
Okay, you can't get away from the fact that Arsenal are the best team in the league. I get that, right? I would rather watch my team go there and throw everything at it, like what Man United did.
So
I'd rather watch that every day of the week. And if you go out because Arsenal are better. Chelsea have rocked up there tonight and they've tried not to get beat and they've tried to make it a 30-minute match and bring on Cole Palmer and beg him that he does something.
But they
haven't laid a glove on them. They've wasted 60 minutes of a game that they're losing. They're losing the game. They've got to try and get something out of it.
If I take you back to Mike Tyson, right? World champion.
Okay.
So you're on your stool in the corner. How are you going to beat him? Are you going to go out punch for punch? Because he's got bigger punches than you. So you're going to go out and throw a lucky punch and hope that you can chin him because he's going to knock you out if you open up. If you open your guard up. Or do you cover up, throw a jab. Cover up, throw a jab. Tire him out and then try and knock him out. Football's the same. If you go punch for punch with Arsenal, they're going to beat you. So it's brainless.
That's not true because Man United showed that that's not true.
Now and again.
Okay,
But there's a reason why they're top of the league. That don't happen very often.
No, I get that, but I would rather watch my team go and try and take it to them. Tottenham went there, tried to sit in, played 5 at the back, got absolutely battered.
So you would rather...
I'd rather go there and look. I'd rather go there and have a go.
Right.
I'd rather go there and try and win the game.
So you get off your stool against Mike Tyson, just go and try and knock him out.
Yeah, headbutt him.
And then you get knocked out in the first round after 10 seconds.
Yeah, and I got
brainless.
Yeah, but you know,
brainless tactics.
But I've had a go.
You've had a go and entertained the crowd.
I've entertained the crowd.
Or didn't you find a clever way of beating him?
But you can't. Well, sometimes you can't.
That's Arsenal.
Yeah.
No matter what you
And
do,
sometimes
still
you
might
can't
not
because
beat
they're better than you.
Yeah.
But I'd rather try and go and do something and sit there and wait to get.
At least he had a plan. The manager,
Yeah.
Liam Senior, he had a plan in his head, and in hindsight, it's easy afterwards. But
I don't know if that's a plan acceptable for a club like Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? If you're a bottom 6 club and you're going there, fair enough. But for a club like Chelsea to go there and try not to get beat,
Well,
I think they get it wrong.
in your corner here, who would you be scared of there? If you were at Chelsea, like Pedro's decent, Cole Palmer's decent, can hurt you.
Well, they got
For the
World
rest,
Cup-
who's
they got World Cup
scared
winners.
of? But who's scared of?
Casado, Enzo Fernandez, Esteval, Cole Palmer.
You wouldn't be scared of Casado and Fernandes.
Are you joking?
You wouldn't be scared of them. Not like Man City's players. When you got Sane
Casado and
running
Enzo
at
Fernandez
you,
are top
Sterling running at you, De Bruyne's running at you, Bernardo Silva's running at you, Gundogan. You know, they're not...
I think Chelsea are a good side, mate. They got
but who would, at the end of that game there, who would scare you? Who do you think was going to, like, he's unstoppable? Haaland is unstoppable. He would scare you.
Yeah, but you can stop him.
Yeah,
if
but
you have a go.
I was looking at it last, the Chelsea team at the end of the game, I'm thinking, they don't look like scoring.
No, well, he could have been there all week. That's because but Cundy makes the point. They set the stall out to defend, and then try and change that narrative in a game is actually quite difficult. So then all of a sudden go, well, we've got to go gung-ho now. We've got to try and get something from it. Well, you spent 60 minutes defending. All right, keep your calls coming in. 03717 22 3344.
My biggest regret playing for England and not playing for Scotland. So,
Are you serious?
Harvey Barnes, don't do the same thing.
It's your biggest regret. You didn't know that. Playing for
I want to
England.
play for Scotland.
There you go. Did you really?
Yeah, that national anthem.
Oh man, Flower of Scotland, unbelievable.
You're getting me all sentimental, guys. We need, because you've got a lot of things going on. You've got a tour going on at this moment, a stand-up show called Defying Calamity, right?
That's right.
How do you go on tour and defy calamity?
Well,
surely they go hand in hand.
Yeah, well, they do a little bit. Yeah, it depends how the gigs go, but it's just great fun. You know, as you know, I do like lots of impressions of politicians and a few football and cultural people, and then I talk about having survived cancer a couple of years ago and the changes to my body as a result of it. So it's like mixing the personal with the political, and it's just great fun. You know, it's good to be alive.
Do you know what I'm dying to ask somebody like yourself, Matt? Where do you just get an idea? Obviously, when you've got a tour planned, you'll go and you'll do a script and you'll have a line you'll follow. But where do you see the humour? Where do you find the humour? Is it in everyday life?
It's everyday life, and I think I watch a lot of the news, and then you see sort of hypocrisy or incompetence. You know, they're always like good things. But what I often try and do is I do this whole thing about. So I had the base of my spine removed, so I've lost bladder and bowel function, so I've got a colostomy bag and I have to catheterise. I'm currently having treatment for erectile dysfunction on the NHS. So that I'm not just going from like, here's a Trump impression and Keir Starmer to that, I'll sort of blend the two and say, who would I rather have as my doctor? Would I rather have Keir Starmer? Look, the reality is, you're in a situation now where you're probably never going to have a sex life that you would fully enjoy, there is no sensation in that area? Or would you rather have Trump going, I think it's going to get bigger than it ever was, and I think you're going to have a wonderful time. People are going to say this guy is going to make a lot of people very happy.
Listen to the Sports Bar on talkSPORT. Me, Jamie Hara and Dean Saunders. We'll take more calls on tonight's CFL Cup semi-final. 03717 223344. Man City host Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Second leg tomorrow night. That's live on talkSPORT. City gaffer Pep Guardiola has been speaking to the media ahead of that one. Discussed what he thought of the idea that he has spent his way to success at Man City.
I'm a little bit sad and upset because in net spent the last 5 years, we are the 7 in the Premier League. So I want to be the first. I don't understand how the club don't spend more money. So I'm a little bit grumpy with them. But with that position like we won in the past, because we spend a lot, now 6 teams have to win the Premier League. And the Champions League is the FA Cup because they spend more in the last 5 years. This is a fact, you know. It's not, I would say, an opinion, you know. You can say an opinion, for example, like you say, you play good or play bad against the Spurs. So we can be agree or disagree. And but that is facts. So good luck for the 6 teams who are in front of us to spend net in the last 5 years. Let's go. I'm waiting.
Pep Guardiola speaking there. I don't know if he's trying to be ironic or he's trying to be a bit sarcastic with the fact that he's trying to let everyone know that they're not the number 1 spenders in the league, even though everyone's saying that he is.
I don't buy spend net. I don't buy it. Liverpool have done it, haven't they? Slot brings it up. He says, we've spent $500 million, but we brought in 350. So our net spend.
Yeah.
If I'd like to think, if you give me £1 million, I can improve my team. If you give me £1 million, say I was like a League One club.
Okay.
And you give me £1 million for a player.
Yeah.
So I say he was a right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get rid of my right back I've got and I'll improve the team by signing a £1 million right back.
Yeah.
And then where else we going then? Give me $5 million, I'll change the centre forward for a better one. Centre forward leaves, I get a better one. So you're trying to piece together a jigsaw, and obviously the more money you've got, the more times you can do that.
Yeah.
So really, you should improve your team every penny you spend. It should be improving the team.
Yeah.
So the net spend for me, I don't have it. I'm not having it.
You're not having it at all?
No. It's like net spend is you selling someone if you get money, you're improving your team with the money. The first team.
Yeah.
You buy a better goalkeeper. So now we had a goalkeeper that was not bad. Give me 25 million. I got a new goalkeeper. And you're going to get some wrong. You are going to get some wrong. Alex Ferguson got him wrong. Look at Pep signed Calvin Phillips. We just seen him go to Sheffield United yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Man United are culprits of that. They get plenty of them.
By the way, 51 million and his wages, call it another 20 odd million. Imagine working for a company and costing them 70 million on a mistake. Imagine if you were working for Lloyds Bank and you cost them 71 million.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I thought he was good. But he wasn't. So all managers make mistakes with that. Fergie, Mourinho. But if you get 5 out of 8, right, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
3, some players just don't fit in. But if you've got money, it's a lot easier because you're buying something that's ready-made.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
And you know it's better than the one you've got.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to stay in the Premier League, Pep?
I think he's admitted, obviously, he brought the style of play from Barcelona, didn't he? Where he had Mascherano playing centre half with Puyol. Midfield was ridiculous, where he had Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets.
Yeah.
You can play whatever system you like. It'll work with that lot. They don't give the ball away. So they decided to play total football, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, never pass the ball more
It was
than
the
5
best thing I
yards.
ever watched.
Yeah, but that group of players doesn't exist anymore. And he tried to get it, and he got it at Man City with De Bruyne.
Close. Yeah.
He had
David Silva and Bernardo Silva.
Gundogan,
Yaya Toure,
all Aguero played up the front, and like Mahrez, the class.
Yeah.
And he's more or less saying, I can't play like that anymore. The players I've got are not as good as the ones he's got now are not as good as De Bruyne and Gundogan. Like when they were at their best, Silva.
No, they're not.
They're not as good. So they give the ball away wide open. So they're wide open. When the players I just mentioned were playing, De Bruyne and all them, the two centre halves used to split the width of the pitch. Two full-backs used to push on, and they never give the ball away. So you never got counter-attacked. And when they did, he had a plan for it.
Yeah.
Make sure we got one player in this side of the pitch, or you're supposed to be on that side of the pitch when we're crossing it. So he went over that.
It's been a bit strange this season, though, hasn't he? I don't know if he's a bit tired of it. I don't know if it's getting to him building another team, and it's hard. I don't know. He just feels the Man City team doesn't feel like a real Pep team.
The players aren't as good. They're good players, the ones he's brought in, but they're not geniuses. Think of the best player. I'll tell you it is now because I've spoke to you before. Modric is probably the best player you've ever played with, isn't he? And the common denominator with all the players, Berbatov, they don't give the ball away.
No.
You can't get the ball off them.
No, you can't.
If you try and press Modric, he just drifts by you or lets the ball go before you get there. They're just geniuses. And if you haven't got them in the centre of the pitch, you can't play total football with your two centre-halves. Liverpool are trying to do it now. Keep getting caught with Canati and Van Dijk miles apart, and they give the ball away in the centre of the pitch, you're in trouble. Especially if your two centre-backs can't sprint. You've got one slow one and one quick one, but Liverpool have got two quickies, but they're still getting caught.
I wouldn't want to see Pep go. I mean, I love what he's done for English football. I mean, he's a genius.
Well, I think he's trying to play a different way, where they get it forward a bit quicker. They're working on set plays as well as winning games. And they're a bit. I think he's trying to sort of play the ball forward a bit more, quicker.
Right, we're going to continue taking calls. We're going to be joined by the Telegraph's George Chesterton to discuss his article in the paper today. He slated the Arsenal fan base for being insufferable, and he is an Arsenal fan. Sports Bar and talkSPORT, he's coming up next.
And I want to start with asking who's the best player you ever played with and why?
Played with? It's difficult when you've got goalkeepers, defenders, midfield players, Patrick, and it's supposed to be quick, isn't it?
Well,
Okay,
you're all right.
Okay, good. Patrick and Manu Petit, great midfielders.
You only picked one, though.
Robert Perez, Mark Overmars. There was so many. Freddie Lundberg, so many quality players. Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry.
So 20.
Yeah, but Dennis is Thierry, greatest goal scorer. He's got the lead for the Arsenal. But I think I'm going to say Dennis because he can make goals and score goals. big difference. He made most of Thierry's goals. So I would say the best player I've ever played with was Dennis.
That's a club one. What about internationally?
Teddy did that job for us, for England, and he was very underestimated. I think Teddy Sheringham, Alan Shearer was a fantastic centre forward, bit of a throwback to the Haaland days where would have been Alan Shearer was a cup of tea for me. It was easy because he was like old school.
Just dismissed Haaland, Shearer,
exactly.
Easy to defend.
The kind of ones that used to stay, but Peter Beersley's and Gary Lineker's. He would sit on your shoulder. He's very quick and stuff. But Brian Robson, I'm going to say Brian Robson because he could make goals and score goals. But he was the heartbeat of when I used to come through and I made my debut and stuff. He was a tremendous leader, phenomenal player. Yeah. So.
Henry?
Yeah, when you played, were some games actually harder in training because you were up against Wright and Bergkamp, presumably, in some of the sessions, than the actual match on the Saturday?
I quickly, I used to kick people because I found very early in my career the fans quite liked it. And in my day, you could actually do it. So in training, I would do that, and they never come. They used to go on the side and play on the wide side.
Listen to the Sports Bar and Talk Sport. Me, Jamie Hart, Dean Saunders. Want to hear from more Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans after our next guest. 03 717 223344. There was an article in the Telegraph earlier today from senior features writer and Arsenal fan George Chesterton, where he spoke about the Gunners fan base being insufferable. The article has made waves amongst Arsenal fans all over social media. Joining us now, the man himself, George Chesterton, senior features writer from the Telegraph. Right, George? Evening,
hello.
George.
Hello. Jamie, hello, Dean.
George, thanks for coming on. You've caused a bit of a stir today because of your article. I'm going to read out some of the quotes. Arsenal supporters are increasingly regarded as undignified weirdos. Arteta is a LinkedIn manager like a more handsome version of Jake Humphrey. It feels inauthentic. They have a history of their own, but act as if they want somebody else's. Now, you're an Arsenal fan, right?
Yes, I mean, the first thing to say, I think, is that the irony is that I got the idea for this article from this show. It's your fault. Because if you listen to this show enough, and you listen to enough callers, and you listen to enough ex-pros, they all say the same thing. So I started to think there must be something in this, because, all the callers you get about Arsenal, they all either hate Arsenal or they just mock it and make fun of the fans. And that seemed to be something different and new that's kind of come in the last few years. So it is basically it's this show's fault that I wrote this article. So
are you regretting the article, John?
I have got an incredible amount of abuse today, but the thing is, if you look at the responses, half of it is just really, really horrible abuse, and the other half is people saying, "Well, you're just proving him right." So a lot of people are just the people that aren't Arsenal fans are commenting and saying to those people that are abusing me, saying, "Well, everything you're saying just proves what he said is probably correct." I mean, the thing is, I'm not talking about every Arsenal fan or the majority of Arsenal fans. Clearly, there's loads and loads of amazing, what you might call normal Arsenal fans that are still knocking around. I've got loads of friends, season ticket holders, and then they're just, if you're Spurs, you're going to hate them. If you're Chelsea, you're not going to like them either, whatever. That's just normal. But it seems to me that in the last few years, something weird has happened. and you pick it up because, you know, like Jason Cundy was just talking about cringe and whinge. That is a new thing that did not exist really 10, 15 years ago. And so I wanted to think about that when I was writing the article, and I wanted to think, why is this happened? Like, where are these, who are these fans that people hate so much? And because it seems like a new thing, and it seemed to boil down to these new fans that are seen as hysterical. They overreact. People say, oh, they're entitled. And also they believe in things like conspiracy theories, which seems to be, I mean, that just didn't exist years ago. And it seems like a new thing.
George, I think you sum it up in the last two paragraphs of you. It's a big article. I've read the last two. I'll just read it out for you, for all the listeners, right?
Well, he knows what it says.
I'll read this bit out. Arsenal have finished second in the league for the past 3 seasons, and this is the biggest source of paranoia. The irony is, they're not bottlers. They didn't come second in the league because they're weak. They came second because they were the second best team. This lack of perspective amongst the silliest supporters creates a risk of self-fulfilling prophecy. Arsenal are, for the first time in years, the best team around. So now it's actually possible that they may bottle it from a position of genuine supremacy. It almost makes me feel sorry for Mikel. Still, it could be worse. You could be a Spurs fan. You could be Spurs in general.
I think the Arteta thing is interesting because he's clearly a brilliant manager. And like I said in the article, they're quite likeable players, I think. As players, a lot of them are really likeable players, probably more than they've been for a long time. But there's something a bit... I don't want to use a nasty word. There's something about the way Arteta conducts himself which encourages the worst type of Arsenal supporter. And I think a lot of that is that psychobabble, weird, that kind of way of talking about football, which doesn't really fit the normal ways that people talk about football. But, all those slogans on the walls, and it's that sort of idea that you have to create a new identity. That's not natural, is it? That's like forced.
Is that what you're I feel like you're kind of feeling like Arsenal have got their own history. Arsenal are a massive football club. You know, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, and you feel like their identity now is fake.
Yes. Well, not for everyone, because there's all those fans there who are still the real deal. I don't want to make it sound like everyone's gone this direction, but there's enough of them for everyone else to hate. I mean, the song is just the worst thing. I hate that song. The song sort of sums up everything that's wrong with it.
If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd enjoy it. I genuinely like. It bring a positivity. It brings a togetherness of a group of Arsenal fans. You're all together in it, and everyone hates you. You know, calling you cringe and whinge, and everyone's like, "Oh, the tifos this and the song that." But if you're an Arsenal fan, I'd love it.
I don't know. It doesn't feel. It's because it doesn't feel genuine. That's my problem with that particular thing. It just feels like, it doesn't feel like it's part of the. It feels like it's been sort of stuck on and added on, and it's not really. It doesn't belong there to me. It doesn't say tradition and history and heritage.
Well, because you're from Woolwich, you're not even from North London.
Well, yeah, there is that as well.
George, I actually think, like Rory McIlroy when he kept knocking on the door, and he ends up winning the tournament. I think Arsenal are knocking on the door every year. And you've got to remember as well, Liverpool spent $500 million. Man City have spent billions. Man United have spent billions. They've got to finish above all them teams. So I know they've spent a lot of money, but everybody else is spending silly amounts of money trying to win the league. And only one team can win the league. And I think if they keep knocking at the door, I think this year they'll do it, to be honest.
Look, go on, George.
Sorry, I want them to win, but then I know they'll be even more insufferable. But I do want. It's not like I don't want them to win, and I think they are. I think you're right. They have, in a way, they've been up against it because they've had to build a team with this City team and this Liverpool team there all the time, and I think they've done it. And I'm not quibbling with. Like, I know people moan about, listening to your show tonight, people complaining about that they're so defensive and they're so mechanical and they're not very exciting to watch. I mean, that is true, but I don't really care about that. I don't think that's I don't think Arsenal supporters really care, even the ones that are like really committed and season ticket holders. My sort of issue, if you can call it that, is just this sort of woo-woo nonsense that people talk, and I just think it's not very dignified if you've got people thinking that the referees are all biased against Arsenal. It's just nonsense, it's all that hysteria is not good.
Do you think Arsenal Fan TV have caused a lot of problems?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's got that now. But they were the first, and what that represented was this same word. It's this hysteria. It's like everything's overreacting, everything's screaming, shouting, and obviously football is very emotional. It's not like you want emotion in football. I don't want people to be cold and calculated about it. I'm not suggesting that you can't put your heart and soul into supporting.
Isn't
your
that
club.
passion?
A passion, yeah, of course. But the thing about the TV thing is, it was just like hysterical screaming most of the time. When and then that's created this kind of subculture among the club. And again, it's not the whole club and it's not all the supporters, but there is this weird subculture of people that can't see anything in perspective. They can't make they can't see what's really going on. They're just always hysterical all the time. And that's why people make fun of Arsenal supporters. I mean, that's what I'm talking about listening to this show. You do it and Jason does it.
Yeah.
But it's not just because you don't like Arsenal, because you're a natural historic enemy of Arsenal. It's that you're laughing at them. And
everyone laughs at Spurs as well.
George, you've obviously got a bit of stick today, and there's a lovely picture of you in the paper. And I think you've overreacted a little bit as well, because you're doing this interview in the dark with a balaclava on. Relax.
It's a bit late for that now. I mean, people have been putting pictures of me up on social media and saying very nasty things. So that horse has bolted, I'm afraid.
Keep the lights off.
Yeah. Hey, listen, George, you've ruffled some feathers, that's for sure. So that's your job, right? You're doing a news article.
Yeah, I mean,
got people talking.
Exactly. My job is to go, what's an interesting angle to look at this, and thanks to you and your wonderful show, I got the angle I wanted. I got I kept seeing the same pattern over and over and over again.
Yeah, I just don't know. If I was an Arsenal fan, I think I'd enjoy it. I think I would. I'd enjoy everyone hating us. I think I'd actually enjoy it, and I'd enjoy winding everyone up.
Yeah, I think you can separate the two. You can still enjoy the football. You can still enjoy being at the top of the league. You can still enjoy rubbing people's noses in it. I think you can do that maybe without all the made-up stuff as well.
All right, George, listen, mate, I appreciate your call. Good luck with the Arsenal fans. Hope it works out for you. We're going to take some calls after this, so stay tuned, Georgie, because we've got a few people on here who disagree with you, obviously. Are Arsenal fans insufferable? We'll obviously talk about the game tonight as well. I don't know about you, but I think I would. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd give Arsenal fans a load of stick.
By the way,
that's because I'm a Tottenham fan and we're rubbish.
They're in 4 tournaments and they're top of the Premier League.
Yeah, but I get George's point. It was the tifos and the ultras and the things of the set piece coach and all that in the down there and in the tunnels and all that rubbish and all the ultras, all that like they work in Canary Wharf and they're giving it their ultras. I get his argument. But North London forever, why not? Listen, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd enjoy it. I would, but I don't know.
And
Arsenal fans think they're insufferable.
You used to play for them.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
And
You're an Arsenal product.
I was an Arsenal product, and they were an amazing academy. They still are. Keep your calls coming in. We'll take calls on that. 03717 22 3344.
Arsenal are currently top. And Tony, it'd be fair to say you haven't always been praising this Arsenal regime under Arteta. Are you now being converted to the fact that they're title-winning material?
Well, I love this squad, and I think
this one, not necessarily back 3 or 4 years ago, is my point.
I think the squad couldn't handle the injuries. We had Saliba about 3 years ago, and it really struggled when he got injured. And like with Saka again, you know, in previous years, if they had stayed fit, they would have definitely won the league those years. I think I think Arteta's learned from it. And I think the way that he rotates today is incredible. He really does. And we saw yesterday with Saka, I said at the top of the show, you know, he got injured and we was able to get the job done still. So that would never happened a few years ago. So I think they've got the best squad in the league. And if he keeps them happy, he's been totally supported by his owner as well. You know, Josh is, 100 million for Declan. All of a sudden, anyone I want, bang, you're on it. You know what I mean? He's been able to assemble a fantastic squad of players that potentially could go on and win the league for a couple of years now.
So when you look at it now, you talk about
central defender-wise. I like the cad at Palace, the central defender. Gay, is it?
Gay.
Yeah, Gay.
He's gone to City.
He's gone to City. I liked him. I thought he would have been good. I like the Villa guy as well, Konza. I think he's quite strong, but they've got Saliba and...
Listening to the Sports Bar and Talk Sport. Me, Jamie Hart, Dean Saunders got back pages coming up. We just had George Chesterton from the Telegraph. He's slated Arsenal fans for their fan culture. You can have your say on that. 03717 223344. We'll talk about the EFL Cup semi-final as well. But let's go to Troy. He's Arsenal fan. All right, Troy. Hi, Troy.
Hello. All right. How are you?
I'm all right, Troy. Look, you just heard George there.
Yeah.
Slaughtering his own fans.
Well, the anthem, first of all, I was jealous of Liverpool having an anthem, and we didn't really have anything. Most clubs don't really have a proper anthem. And then Arteta comes along, gives us that anthem. It's brilliant. Before and after the game today, everybody's singing it. It unites us, doesn't it?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean...
Yeah, it does. It's something for us all to get behind.
It ain't a bad tune, to be honest, is it? I mean, it's not...
No, it's not. I don't have anything bad to say to George either. Just, can I have his season ticket? Because, he needs to go back to the Highbury Library, really.
That's what
we go to football to have a sing song, don't we? Yeah, that's... And now...
I guess his argument, though, is it's fake. That's his argument.
Is it fake, though? We go to football to forget about our bills, to forget about the wife moaning, to forget about work. We go to have a sing-song, and it's a great club. When it was the Highbury Library, you couldn't get the East and West stands to sing. It was... Now we all go to have a sing-song. Forget about work. That's what you go to football for.
Well, you've got something to sing about. I mean, that helps.
Yeah. And even if we haven't got something to sing about, we haven't won nothing really, have we? And we still get behind the team.
Do you know what? As an independent, I played most of my career at Arsenal. Were one of the best teams.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger, Bergkamp, Henry, Perez, Ray Parlour, Tony Adams, Martin Keown, Winterburn, Dixon, Seaman. And then it changed a bit with Emmanuel Petit come in and different players come in that he brought in.
All the Arsenal legends,
but they were all like the best players, it was the best club.
No,
and it still is one of the best clubs.
Yeah.
But at the minute, Man City took over.
Yeah.
Then Liverpool have popped up with it so only one team can win the league every year. They're a great club. Finishing second is not bottling it. They keep saying that they bottle it every year. 3 years on the bounce, they've come second. It's not bottling it. Finishing second's a massive achievement.
It is when you were winning the league.
Well, no, you've got to jump above everybody. You've got to beat all the teams who are spending.
They bottled it last season.
Fortune. Like, by the way, Crystal Palace spent 125 million in the just now. It never been heard of. Teams like down the bottom of the league spending millions on players, making it harder and harder to get 3 points.
Yeah.
So I don't think Arsenal have bottled it at all. I think it's just obviously you want to win the league, and the disappointment of it, calling them bottlers, but not for me. The culture, they lost the culture a bit for a while, and Arteta's got them on the right road. Every single player in that dressing room has got a good attitude.
Let's go to Nipper. He's an Arsenal fan. Nipper.
Hi, Nipper.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. George has obviously dug his, a section of fans and the way that the club's conducting themselves. What do you make of that?
I'm not having it at all. So I'll be honest, mate. Years ago, we were getting battered when we were going away to Liverpool, Chelsea, United, wherever we went, we used to get battered. Everyone was laughing at us. I'd much prefer to be hated now and everyone calling us cringe FC when we're sat at the top of the league.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd much rather be in that position. I've got a couple of other points. Why is no one talking about us winning the quad?
I have. I've had a bet. 100 to 1 I got. I had a pound on.
Yeah, we have spoke about it, but, I mean, why? Do you think you're going to win it?
Yeah, easily. So we're going to get the League Cup done.
I mean, this is exactly why George has done this article, because of fans like you.
Yeah, because it's obvious, isn't it? We've already got the league. You get the League Cup done. Man City used to get the League Cup done. Chelsea, Man United, you concentrate in the League Cup. You get that done. The league's pretty much done already because
What do you mean?
City's got to win pretty much. They've got to win pretty much every game.
So that's it. Quads up. That's it. You've done it. Quads is yours. That's it. History made.
We're in the hardest league in Europe. Look at Tottenham. Where are they in the league? And they finished fourth in the Champions League. Yeah?
Right.
Right. So they're apparently, at the moment, one of the best teams in Europe. Last time we played Tottenham, we walked all over them.
But this is why people think you're insufferable. This is exactly why George, who's an Arsenal fan, is calling you insufferable because you're phoning up saying, that's it, we're going to win. There's no humble about you. There's no humbleness about you.
It's humble, but
you're not humble.
Years and years of built up. You don't need to be humble. We've won the league. We're going to win the League Cup, so there's 2 knocked off in the head.
What do you mean? You've got to play Man City or Newcastle. It's not a given.
I'd rather, listen to this, I'd rather play Man City than Newcastle.
Do you know what you said at the start? At the start of this conversation, you were right. What you said, like you going away and getting battered. Can you remember the game against Bayern Munich, right at the end of Arsene Wenger's reign?
What 10-2? Yeah, 10-2
5.
on average, wasn't it?
Got beat 5, right? Iwobi played left wing, Kieran Gibbs left back, Xhaka played in midfield, and Ozil played, right? Ozil played. Tony Kroos run the game for Bayern Munich, and Ozil wasn't prepared to stop him.
I was at that game.
And I thought
he was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, well, Ozil was the type of character he's the type of character I only want to play when I got the ball. He didn't want to dig in. Right now, that if Arsenal went to Bayern Munich, right now they've got a team that could stop Bayern Munich.
Okay, but it's not given that they're going to win.
It's
not given. Okay, but you played PSG last season as well, didn't you? And then they ended up winning the Champions League. So that means nothing.
Yeah, but they got a team now that won't get battered anyway.
Any team that comes to the Arsenal now and actually have to go. Man City parked the bus. Chelsea parked the bus tonight. Liverpool first half.
What about Man United last week?
Parked the bus. They had to go. The sun shines on the dog's arse some days, mate. Sometimes the other team has a good day at the office, don't they?
I'm going to use that one.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Right, okay. I mean, listen, this is why I use it called Cringe FC.
No.
This is exactly why you call Cringe FC.
Yeah, but usually I'm not this confident. But this year, it's like, if we're not playing well, we can park the bus ourselves. Arsenal for years were told, you're not this, you're not that. You can't have a fight. You can't do this. You can't do that. No, we park the bus. Everyone goes, oh, they're boring. They're boring. No, there's nothing boring about winning football matches.
What about tonight when there was 5 minutes to go on the clock and Arteta's shouted on, sit back, park the bus.
I'm saying Wembley, we're on the way to Wembley. That's what I'm saying with 5 minutes to the clock.
Jamie's just shaking his head here. He can't.
I hope Man City absolutely slap you in the final. Honestly.
But you know,